What if Antarctica was never meant to keep humanity out because of the cold, but instead because of what may exist beyond it? For centuries, Antarctica has remained one of the most mysterious and isolated places on Earth. But what if beyond the ice, there are lands humanity was never meant to discover? From ancient maps to strange symbolism, to one of the most heavily restricted regions on Earth. The deeper you look into Antarctica, the stranger the story becomes. And just what if beyond this frozen barrier, there are lands, civilization, and truths kept from humanity? And to understand this possibility, we first must need to understand the structure of this realm. Now, this is a rough idea, a rough image of what this realm looks like. And there's actually a map of this place on the moon. And this map shows you that there is in fact land beyond the South Pole. There is a black core that generates all of the energy within this creation. This black core is also the key to all of the realms and gives power to this realm. Energy from the core bounces up off of the firmament and also bounces from the top of the firmament and back down. And where these two lines intersect is where we get the sun and the moon. And the sun and the moon are trapped inside the magnetic field generated by the plasma core. And the sun and moon are also plasma bodies. Now, why is this important? Because when plasma gets trapped in the magnetic field of another plasma body, it creates an orbit. This is what creates the orbit of the sun and the moon. Now, there are also different types of plasma. Plasma is the fourth state of matter. The particular type of plasma that the moon is a reflective type of plasma. So when light and energy is generated from the core of this place, there's actually a map of this place on the moon. Now, what else does this look like? This also looks like the Freemason symbol. And it has become a symbol of like what this place is. You see, and when you know this, you understand reality. Now, there has been tons of stories and controversies about beyond Antarctica. William Byrd, he was a Navy admiral that was tasked with exploring the North and South poles of this place. And when he began exploring the South Pole, he actually flew past it and discovered other land masses. Beyond Antarctica, there are other land masses, and I have been there outside of my body. So I know this to be 100% true. Outside of my body, I went to a place called Neo Sol, and Neo Sol is in fact beyond the ice wall. Now, Neo Sol is a city, an advanced civilization that is outside of the resets. These 6 continents have been reset continuously to try to control humanity. And beyond the ice wall, there exist landmasses that are outside of these resets. This allows humanity and the civilizations there to progress without interruption. This leads to Neo Sol being a more advanced human-like civilization. And the humans there actually migrated from these 6 continents to beyond Antarctica and set up a civilization in this place called Neo Sol. Now, where exactly is this? This is a rough idea of like what this realm actually looks like. So here, this line here would be considered Antarctica, the barrier, and it encompasses these 6 continents. Now, these 6 dots are representative of the 6 continents that we have: North America, South America, Australia, Africa, Europe, and Asia. Now, beyond this, there are other land masses, and Neo Sol is actually over here. How do we know this? Because my partner Lova, outside of her body, she was actually shown a map because she had been taken to Neo Sol as well. And on the map, the guy pointed, said, "We are here." He said, "This is the ice wall, and we are here." So this is where Neo Sol is actually located. Now, what goes on in Neo Sol? Well, I spent quite some time there in an experience where I was experiencing different lifetimes of mine there in the form of accessing my soul records. And while I was there, I got to see how we acted in everyday life. I was there for what felt quite literally like months. I was there for a very long time, and I experienced 3 different lifetimes of mine. 3 different characters, 3 different wives, 3 entirely different lives. Now, when I was there, I was told it was year 2015, and I was told this by my spirit guide. When I first got into this experience, once I got to Neo Soul, my spirit guide appeared behind me, and I was asking him questions about like where I am, what is this place? And he said, and he looked me dead in my eyes and told me, this is Neo Soul. And I just took that as, oh, okay, so I'm in Neo Soul. I understood it was this city. Things come to you as a knowing when you're outside of your body. Now, the next question that I had was, what year is it? And he looked at me and told me it is year 2015 here. And when he signaled here, I understood that they are on a different timing schedule than we are here in these 6 continents. A different timing structure. So the year 2015 there had no correlation to what we label as the year 2015 here. However, I also understood that I was in the past because I was experiencing past lifetimes of mine. And when I say past, I'm talking about past in terms of time that realm 1 calculates time. Now, in this civilization, humans place a high emphasis on philosophy and the truth and education. Nobody was poor. There was a monetary system, but it was more evenly distributed. Nobody was poor, but people still worked, and we still had jobs. For an example, I was a doctor, and my wife and I, we owned a rehab clinic, a rehab facility on the side of our house. It was like attached to our house. And I also had like some dog thing going on in my garage where I had like a bunch of dogs. Now, they also have a lot of our technology and medical advancements come from there. An example of this is I was administering a drug to one of my patients, and it was Suboxone. And in the experience, I'm like, oh, it hit me, and I was like, oh, we have Suboxone where Andre, me, where I live now. And I understood, oh, it must have came from here. Now, also in this time, I will say that the cars were different. Some of them hovered and made no sound, but there was also, in one of my lives, there was also conventional cars there as well. So my 3 different lifetimes there took place in different time periods. At one time period, they had conventional cars that we have now. In another time period, the cars kind of developed and they would just hover and they made no sound. Now, there was also different types of sidewalks inside of the city, and the city itself had like reflective material type buildings in it. So like when you look into when you look at a building, you see your reflection, the reflection of the city. It made for a very beautiful landscape. To think of this, if you think of the modern humans as if we developed on this technological rate that we are on for another 200 to 300 years, that is what it is like in Neo Soul when I was there. What it is like now, it's more advanced than it is when I was there. Now, also in Antarctica, beyond Antarctica, there are other land masses. Outside of my body, I have been to one of these, and there was giants there. There was giants there, and other creatures that I don't even know what they are. Like, we don't have names for them. But they're beings, and they live in quite harmony. There's no real destruction there. A lot of the mythical creatures that we do have exist there as well. Now, outside of my body, when I wasn't there and accessing my soul records, things were a little crazy. It was hard for me to navigate and truly understand what I was seeing. But based off of the frequency, because I now know Neo Soul existed beyond the ice wall, based on the frequency and the feeling of the place, I now know that these places I was at was also beyond the ice wall. There is more fruit there. There is more greenery. Extraterrestrials that actually come from realm 2 are stationed there, as well as the humans in Neo Soul. The humans in Neo Soul are considered extraterrestrials because they do not come from here. They come from extra land, extraterrestrials, you see? So the humans in Neo Soul quite literally look and are us. They came from here. And they started a civilization there. So, and these are going to be some of the first types of ETs that are actually going to be revealed to us. Now, are the actual first ETs that are going to be revealed to us actually going to be from Neo Soul? I don't know, but it would be pretty cool. Now, you may be wondering, why don't we know this? Well, there is something called the Antarctic Treaty. The Antarctic Treaty was enforced in 1961, and this was after Admiral Byrd discovered that there was land masses beyond there. What the Antarctic Treaty actually did was it limited public transport below the 60th parallel. So the 60th parallel would quite literally be, if this is Antarctica, the 60th parallel would be just before that. So there's actually no public transportation allowed there. Now, there are tours and public tours that people can go to Antarctica, but they're actually just taken to a specific part and showed what they want you to see. Now, there's also no live streaming allowed in Antarctica, and it's very under wraps. There's videos of people getting taken into custody because they were live streaming there. And it's just very ironic that humans on these 6 continents fight over everything. Every land is an opportunity to monopolize and make monetary gain off of, have wars over, and fight over. But every country in the world agrees that Antarctica is off limits. It's because Antarctica is a barrier to the other land masses, to the truth. And once you realize this, you will 100% understand that we do, in fact, live inside of a creation, and space is not what they say it is. Because if space is what they say it is, and we truly live on a globe, there can't be land beyond Antarctica. And this is where the misconception that, there's inner land masses in Antarctica. Now, there is a hole in Antarctica that I've been to out of my body. I wasn't able to go inside of it, so to say that there's no inner Earth civilizations, I can't say that. But from my current understanding is the civilizations beyond Antarctica are actually quite physically beyond Antarctica. They are not in inner Earth. And where I believe this inner Earth theory comes from is because as you go back in time into the other realms, our history is buried. There has been resets, the Great Flood, the mud floods. So our history is quite literally buried. And an example of this is in the Halls of Amenti, which is a record place for the Round 3 ancient Egyptian time period, is quite literally underground because the Great War and the mud floods destroyed that civilization and it is now buried under the desert. So as you are traveling, either astral projection or a full-blown out-of-body experience, it may appear as if you're under realm 1, as if you're under the ground, but it's just because they were buried. So things do exist down there, and outside of your body, these things come alive and you can actually see them. Now, I know this to be 100% true, but if you can just open up your mind and understand, why can't we go to Antarctica? Why is it blocked off? Why does the Antarctic Treaty exist? Why does every country agree that it is a place that nobody should go? And there are actually bases on Antarctica and things like that. Maybe I'll save that for another video, a topic for another discussion. But for 100% certainty, I can tell you that there are land masses beyond Antarctica. I have been there outside of my body. Admiral Byrd has been there. This is a documented expedition. You can look up Admiral Byrd. And he was on TV, on a news station, saying to the world that he's seen other land masses beyond Antarctica. This is very well documented. So this is just some of the facts and things that I can present to you in a quick little YouTube video. I hope this helps make sense for you guys. And as you can see, there's a lot of symbolism here. Earlier in this video, I showed you where the Freemason symbol comes from. And this is actually representative of the 4 corners of the earth, because if you separate it like this, What does this look like? The four corners of the earth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like it says in the Bible, the creation story in the Bible is actually pretty accurate. We live on a fixed place. There is a firmament above us, and there is more land masses here than we are told. I know this for 100% fact, and hopefully soon the rest of the world will too. This is all I have for you guys. Always remember, stay grounded, stay curious, and always remember, you are not just in the game, you are the one controlling it. I am the Alchemist, and I'll see you on the other side.